early second quarter. Didn't feel like that, but we regrouped, and I felt like we did a much better job in the second half, and we grew. We got better.
Uncertainty looms heavily over the Indiana Fever's locker room and its fan base, as the team grapples with the sudden absence of its rising superstar, Caitlin Clark. What once felt like a turning point in the Fever's season has now transformed into a stretch of concern, cautious optimism, and forced adjustments, just when the Fever seemed to be finding their rhythm, getting healthy, pulling off wins against strong opponents, and growing into the team many expected them to be. Clark's latest injury has once again thrown their season into limbo. The injury came in a cruel twist of fate during the final minute of last Tuesday's game against Connecticut, just as Indiana was on the verge of solidifying its place among serious playoff contenders. The next night, without Clark, they were handed a double-digit loss by the reigning champion New York Liberty, a team that punished Indiana's lack of floor leadership and exposed their growing reliance on their rookie star. Clark's absence has had immediate ripple effects on and off the court. She missed the WNBA All-Star festivities in Indianapolis, a marquee weekend designed to celebrate the league's top talent, and her participation was supposed to be a highlight of the event hosted in her new home city. Now, fans and analysts alike are left wondering whether she suit up for Indiana's next rematch with the Liberty, or whether this is just the beginning of a long, frustrating setback that could alter the course of Indiana's playoff dreams. Head coach Stephanie White tried to strike a hopeful tone after Sunday's practice, but her words revealed the delicate balance between managing expectations and maintaining optimism. These soft tissue injuries sometimes nag until you can actually have time to really allow them to heal in the offseason, she admitted. So, we'll just take it one day at a time and continue as a group to progress together. There is no official timetable for Clark's return on from her camp, and not from the Fever organization, and that silence speaks volumes. It's a reminder of how vulnerable teams are when a single player becomes so vital, not only to their competitive identity but also to their commercial value and emotional spirit. Clark's short stint in the WNBA has already been historic. As a rookie, she energized the Fever, led them out of a 6-year playoff drought, and helped them rediscover their purpose. In the 3-game winning streak before her latest injury, she dropped 40 points, dished out 29 assists, recorded 6 steals, and committed 10 turnovers, all within just 79 minutes of court time. Her game is electric, her decision-making sharp, and her leadership undeniable. But perhaps more than anything, it's her presence, her energy, her visibility, her marketability that has made her the most valuable piece of the WNBA's present and future. Clark is not just a basketball player, she's a phenomenon. Her college career at Iowa, filled with record-breaking performances, sold-out arenas, and unforgettable moments, paved the way for an unprecedented level of interest in the WNBA. When she entered the draft, ticket sales skyrocketed. When she was selected by Indiana, a franchise long plagued by mediocrity suddenly found itself under a national spotlight. She has not only filled stadiums but also carried a heavy burden of visibility, often being the face of every promotional campaign, press conference, and highlight reel. Her name, alongside other WNBA superstars like A'ja Wilson, Breanna Stewart, and Sabrina Ionescu, has helped the league secure more lucrative broadcast deals and national exposure. But with that visibility comes immense pressure and physical toll. Especially for someone only months removed from a grueling college season, the transition from college to professional basketball is already steep. Doing it under a global microscope is another story entirely. Now, Clark is facing the harsh reality of professional wear and tear. And the timing couldn't be worse for her or the league. Injuries have plagued the WNBA this season at an alarming rate. According to The Next, a platform that meticulously tracks injury reports across the league, there have been over 140 documented injuries so far this season, and that number continues to grow. It's not just Clark. Nearly every team has dealt with rotational instability, due to players nursing nagging ailments or undergoing full recoveries. From knee sprains and hamstring pulls to foot fractures and concussions, the league's physical demands are taking a visible toll. This has sparked ongoing debates about the WNBA's evolving structure, including whether the expansion to a 44-game season up from 40 is sustainable, particularly given the compressed schedule and frequent travel. Some players and analysts have called for extending the season's calendar or reducing back-to-back games, especially for teams flying commercially and arriving in new cities just hours before tip-off. The stakes are high, not just for playoff positioning, but for long-term player health and league credibility. the WNBA, in its rapid growth phase, faces a dilemma. On one hand, expansion and increased media attention signal progress and opportunity. More games mean more revenue, more airtime, and a larger window for fans to engage with teams and players. But on the other hand, player fatigue, injury risk, and lack of rest threaten to derail that progress. The physical strain on athletes like Clark, who went from an intense college postseason to an immediate WNBA debut and media whirlwind, shouldn't be underestimated. Without proper rest and recovery, the league's brightest stars risk becoming overexposed and unavailable. That's a tough pill to swallow for fans who bought tickets months in advance, just to watch Caitlin Clark shoot logo threes or orchestrate fast breaks with her uncanny court vision. For Indiana, this injury crisis is more than just a temporary setback. It's a test of depth, resilience, and internal leadership. Without Clark running point and dictating tempo, the Fever have had to lean more heavily on veterans like Kelsey Mitchell and Nolissa Smith. Mitchell, known for her scoring prowess, has attempted to shoulder the offensive load while also helping to organize younger players on the court. Smith, meanwhile, has provided crucial rebounding and interior defense, though the team's offense struggles to flow with the same fluidity in Clark's absence. Head coach Stephanie White and her staff have spent recent practices experimenting with new rotations and looking for a rhythm that doesn't rely so heavily on Clark's playmaking. It's a tough adjustment, especially with upcoming games against top-tier opponents. But it's also a valuable opportunity for role players to shine and gain confidence. Indiana's front office, too, finds itself under pressure. The Fever were finally turning a corner, and their improved record was breathing new life into a fanbase that had endured years of irrelevance. With Clark, the team had a clear identity, fast-paced, perimeter-driven, and exciting. Without her, they must rediscover their grit and redefine their strategy, whether that means slowing the game down, playing more through the post, or grinding out wins defensively. The Fever still have enough talent to remain in the playoff conversation, but the margin for error has drastically shrunk. One or two more losses in Clark's absence could send them tumbling down the standings, and with a tightly packed Eastern Conference, every game matters. Clark's long-term health is the priority, but the emotional burden on her shoulders is undeniable. She's not just healing a quad injury, she's confronting the expectations of a nation that crowned her as basketball's next great hope. The questions swirl constantly. When will she return? Will she be the same player when she does? Can she carry Indiana to the postseason in her rookie year? And beneath those questions lies a deeper one. Should the WNBA protect its stars more? Intentionally, even if it means rethinking its format or calendar. The league is at a critical juncture. Expansion teams are on the horizon. Viewership is climbing. Sponsorship is booming. But sustainability is key, and that begins with the health of its core players. For now, Indiana must rally. The Fever, faithful, continue to show up, chanting Clark's name and hoping for a glimpse of their star warming up or cheering from the bench. Her absence is felt not just in missed shots or assists, but in the energy of the arena, the swagger of the team, the belief that every game could be a statement win. Until she returns, her teammates must carry the weight, and in doing so, perhaps, grow stronger and more united. Because when Clark does come back, whether it's in days or weeks, she'll need a team that's battle-tested and ready for the postseason grind. The Fever's story this season is no longer just about a rookie phenom lighting up the league. It's about endurance, adaptation, and collective resolve in the face of adversity. It's about a league trying to grow smartly without compromising player welfare. And most of all, it's about a team and a league navigating the unpredictable intersection of opportunity and vulnerability. Whether Clark returns tomorrow or next month, one thing remains true. She has already changed the game. Now it's up to everyone else to rise and meet the moment she helped create.
Behind me too, they had my back on defense too.
What can you say about the resilience of this entire group behind you?
How we fight. We don't give up at all. Even though we have our ups and downs, we stay together and we're going to keep.
Caitlin Clark didn't hold back when addressing the increasing toll of the WNBA's rapidly expanding schedule. On Saturday, speaking to media amid her recovery from a nagging soft tissue injury, she candidly acknowledged that she's far from alone in this struggle. "A lot of people have been in the same boat as myself," she said, referencing how injuries across the league have affected not just her, but even other all-star selections who were placed on minutes restrictions or missed time entirely. As the league's physical demands grow, the debate intensifies over what solutions actually serve both players and the game itself. Simply extending the season creates yet another problem. Clark pointed out, alluding to a looming challenge that WNBA executives can't ignore competing for airtime and attention. Against the juggernauts of the NFL and college football, if the season stretches deeper into September, that shift would place marquee WNBA games in direct competition with America's most watched broadcasts, threatening visibility and viewership during a crucial window. These aren't small matters, they're strategic landmines that must be addressed in the next collective bargaining agreement, which will shape not only scheduling but how the league supports its talent long-term. For Indiana, meanwhile, the present reality is sobering but not without promise. Yes, Clark's absence stings, but it hasn't shattered their season. The team still boasts formidable leadership in the form of veteran guard Kelsey Mitchell and dominant post player Aliyah Boston. These two aren't just fill-ins, they're foundational pieces in their own right, capable of anchoring Indiana's playoff push, even in the absence of their rookie phenom. They've stepped up before, and with the right adjustments, they can do it again. Still, there's no denying that the question looming over Indiana is much bigger than just Clark's return date. It's about the entire ecosystem of the WNBA, how it intends to grow responsibly, safeguard its stars, and balance momentum with durability. The WNBA is experiencing unprecedented buzz, viewership, and media coverage. National broadcasts, sold-out arenas, global fan bases, and historic rookie classes like Clark's have helped elevate the sport to new heights. But with all that energy comes a sobering realization: the infrastructure may not be keeping up. From player recovery protocols to travel demands and compressed game schedules, the system is showing cracks. Clark's quad injury and the more than 140 other injuries recorded across the league. This season underscores how fragile success can be when physical wellness is stretched to thin. These aren't isolated events. They're symptoms of a league growing faster than it can sustain. Veteran players have voiced similar concerns, noting how back-to-backs, lack of charter flights, and short recovery windows jeopardize both performance and long-term health. As teams now play 44 games, a jump from previous years, been little time to adjust to the intensity or to account for the lack of an off-season for rookies like Clark, who played deep into the NCAA tournament. The league's calendar, which tries to squeeze in the WNBA season between the end of March Madness and the start of the NBA and NFL seasons, is already razor-thin. Any attempt to extend the regular season further into the fall runs the risk of losing mainstream attention. Football, both college and professional, dominates September and October, leaving little space for alternative programming on major networks. This makes it harder for the WNBA to justify extending its calendar unless it secures stronger contractual protection for national broadcast slots and ramps up its marketing to compete for audience loyalty. But there's another layer to this issue: international play and Olympic scheduling. Many WNBA stars participate in global competitions during the off-season, representing Team USA or playing overseas to supplement their income. These commitments add to their already packed schedules, leaving minimal time for healing and rest. Without a more sustainable rhythm to the year, injuries will continue to mount, and so will burnout. This is where the league must have honest conversations, not just about expansion and profitability, but about the human toll behind the product. Back in Indiana, the Fever are facing these challenges in real time. Clark's recovery is not only a medical timeline but a strategic and emotional recalibration for the entire organization. What was once a season full of clear direction and national spotlight has now become a trial by fire. Kelsey Mitchell, the team's longest-tenured player, has taken on an even greater leadership role. Her court awareness, scoring consistency, and voice in the locker room are essential as the team shifts gears. Meanwhile, Aliyah Boston continues to dominate in the paint, grabbing rebounds, drawing double teams, and creating space for younger players to contribute. The Fever's recent performances without Clark have shown both their vulnerabilities and their potential. They've faltered at times, losing momentum against elite teams like New York. But they've also demonstrated resilience, hanging tough in games and giving their fan base reasons to believe. It's not just about surviving without Clark, it's about proving they're more than just a one-player show. Long-term though, there's no question that Indiana's identity is tied to Clark. Her shooting range, flashy assists, and high basketball IQ bring a unique dimension to their offense that can't be replicated. Her popularity draws crowds, energizes broadcasts, and inspires the next generation of athletes. She is, without exaggeration, the centerpiece of the league's next chapter. But that reality puts even more pressure on the WNBA to act swiftly and smartly. The league can't afford to lose its stars to avoidable injuries, nor can it continue to ride their fame without creating systems that protect them. Player wellness isn't just a moral obligation, it's a business imperative. If fans keep showing up only to find that Clark, Stewart, Wilson, or Boston aren't playing due to rest or injury, the product itself becomes devalued. For all the excitement around expansion and ratings, the game must remain sustainable. That means considering deeper benches, improved medical staffing, better travel logistics, and perhaps most importantly, a collectively bargained framework that reflects these modern realities. For now, Indiana Fever fans cling to hope. They continue to pack Gainbridge Fieldhouse, wear Clark's jersey, and watch every update for signs of her return, but they're also getting to know the rest of this team, players like Lexi Hull, Temi Fagbinal, and Grace Berger, who bring heart and hustle to every possession. These moments, while born from injury, are also opportunities. Opportunities for other players to rise. Opportunities for the coaching staff to innovate. Opportunities for the organization to build depth and resilience. And opportunities for the WNBA itself to pause and reflect on what kind of future it truly wants. Will it prioritize quick growth at the expense of player health? Or will it take the necessary steps to ensure that stars like Caitlin Clark can not only debut brilliantly, but also thrive for a decade or more? This moment is pivotal. Not just for the Fever, not just for Clark, but for the entire sport of women's basketball. The momentum is real, the audience is growing, and the hunger for elite play has never been higher. But the infrastructure must match the ambition. Player safety, schedule management, travel reform, and medical care must be treated with the same urgency as ticket sales and media rights. Because fans aren't just tuning in for highlights, they're investing emotionally in journeys, careers, and legacies. And legacies, especially ones as promising as Clark's, deserve protection. So what do you think? Should the WNBA reconsider the number